A 44th DOTI production appears on screen in metallic lettering. Behind the words, the emblem of the Instructor Combat Crew, featuring a missile surrounded by 8 white stars on a blue background with a gold border. Footage of cars driving in and out of the gate at Ellsworth Air Force Base. Gate is designed to look like a pair of wings arching over the road on each side.
Welcome to Ellsworth Air Force Base, home of the 44th Strategic Missile Wing. The mission of the 44th Strategic Missile Wing is to fulfill the requirements of the Emergency War Order as directed by proper authority.
Footage of the 44th Strategic Missile Wing headquarters at Ellsworth Air Force Base. Building is long with a dome-shaped roof and rows of cars parked outside.
To accomplish this mission, we deploy the Minuteman II intercontinental ballistic missile. The Minuteman II missile is approximately 60 feet tall, 5 feet in diameter, and weighs over 70,000 pounds. It is a 3-stage solid propellant missile that can carry its single re-entry vehicle over 6,000 miles.
A Minuteman missile standing up on end beside the headquarters building. It is painted white with the words U.S. Air Force in blue and a white star inside a blue circle.
The 44th Strategic Missile Wing has 150 Minuteman missiles, each of which is housed in a hardened underground silo.
Diagram of a Minuteman missile launch facility, showing how the missile is housed in an underground silo pointing upwards. Support and mechanical rooms surround the silo around the top of the missile.
Each missile has 2 levels of electronic support gear and backup power equipment, and is covered by an 80-ton launcher closure door.
Air Force personnel stand around the outside of a missile site. The launcher closure door is a 6-sided concrete and metal block, more than half as tall as a person. A transporter erector truck is parked across the top of the open missile silo.
Each launch facility covers approximately an acre of land and is unmanned, with above and below ground security sensors to protect the site from intrusion.
Footage of a camera panning across a missile site. It is surrounded by chain-link fence out in the middle of a grassy prairie.
Launch control facilities are remotely located, secured behind 10-foot-high chain-link fences. These facilities house the launch crew, facility manager, cook, and other site personnel, and are guarded by Air Force Security Police.
Footage of the outside of a control facility. The American flag waves proudly in the breeze in front of a large gate made of chain link and barbed wire. The 1-story building is long and narrow, painted beige. An assortment of trucks and armored vehicles sits in the parking lot.
The 2-officer launch crew performs their 24-hour alert duty in the Launch Control Center, located approximately 60 feet below the Launch Control Facility Support Building.
3 missile crew members looking over a light panel, flipping through binders of technical orders.
This center is hardened underground to protect it from any form of intrusion, sealed behind an 8-ton blast door.
The blast door swings closed, a large off-white square of steel plating and concrete, 3.5 foot thick, with pins along the side like a bank vault to lock it in place.
All of our Minuteman launch facilities and launch control centers are hardened underground for survivability and are separated by at least 3 nautical miles.
Map of a Minuteman missile flight, designated as E. Roads and towns are labeled in the surrounding area, and the 10 missile sites are labeled with their corresponding numbers.
This diagram shows a single flight area. Flights are designated alphabetically. Therefore, in this flight, Echo 1 represents the Launch Control Center, which houses the launch crew. Their task is to monitor the 10 missiles in their flight area designated Echo 2 through Echo 11. All of these sites are interconnected by hardened communication cables and are remotely located.
Camera pans out to look at the entire 66 squadron, consisting of 5 flights of missile designated as Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, and Echo.
An individual squadron is made up of 5 flights. Each flight is responsible for 10 missiles, for a total of 50 missiles per squadron. Additionally, 1 launch control center is known as a squadron command post. Echo 1 is the squadron command post for the 66th Strategic Missile Squadron.
Camera zooms out even further to show the entire 44th Missile Wing out of Ellsworth Air Force Base, consisting of the 66th, 67th, and 68th squadrons, 15 flights of 150 missiles, and 15 control centers.
The wing is made up of 3 squadrons, represented here in 3 separate colors. The entire wing encompasses some 13,500 square miles of South Dakota. One squadron command post, Kilo 1, is also known as the alternate command post and is responsible for carrying on the mission of the 44th when the wing command post is unable to perform its function. The operations deputate consists of 92 combat crews, one of whom is constantly on alert at each of our 15 launch control centers.
Early morning, while it is still dark, a missile crew member wearing a blue uniform gets into a blue Suburban.
Alert tours begin at 6:30 a.m. when vehicles are checked out, and a briefing occurs in each squadron to notify the crews of squadron-specific information.
Missile crew members wearing blue uniforms attend a briefing while one of them reads to the others from a stack of papers.
A formal pre-departure briefing is later held for dispatching crews to notify them of the status of launch control centers and launch facilities throughout the wing.
Blue Suburban drives down a gravel road through the prairie. It arrives at the gate to a launch control facility, and a crew member gets out to use the phone posted by the gate.
After a drive of 50 to 120 miles in all kinds of weather and over all types of road surfaces, the two-man crew arrives at their assigned launch control facility. These crews must pass stringent security checks in order to gain access to the site, and additional authentication requirements to enter the Launch Control Center.
Crew members performing routine work in the underground Launch Control Center, changing paper in the printer, and consulting binders with checklists and procedures as they operate phones and other equipment.
Our launch crews stand ready to perform minor maintenance on capsule systems, respond to hundreds of communications exercises, and react to critical weapon system safety violations should they occur. These rules are part of the many safeguards which protect our Minuteman forces.
Flight security controller in a camo uniform answers the phone in their office that looks out at the gate in the perimeter of the missile site.
The missile crew remotely monitors the security of their 10 assigned missiles. If an intrusion alarm is received, the flight security controller is notified immediately. He dispatches a team of armed security police known as an alarm response team to investigate the alarm. They quickly drive to the site and conduct a thorough investigation to determine the cause of the alarm.
A blue pickup truck leaves a garage. A security policeman walks around a missile site, checking the fence and looking for intruders. The pickup truck drives away from the missile site.
In this case, it was a false alarm, and the team returns to their parent launch control facility.
A yellow board with rows of lights flashing different colors.
The missile combat crew also monitors all of the computer systems on board their missiles.
Crew member talking on the phone while consulting his binder of procedures.
If an alarm from a missile indicates a fault in one of these systems, the crew coordinates with wing job control of the missile maintenance deputate to determine appropriate corrective actions.
Several Air Force personnel sitting in front of computers, talking on phones, and consulting the large charts and whiteboards with schedules that surround them.
If the combat crew is unable to remotely correct the problem, a maintenance team is dispatched to the missile to perform on-site maintenance. If the problem is more extensive, the entire missile may have to be pulled from the silo and returned to base for repair. This shows the transporter erector being used to extract and move the missile.
A truck pulling a long white container drives onto a missile site. The container is painted with the words Air Force in blue next to a white star in a blue circle with red stripes. The white container stands on end over the missile silo with several other trucks behind it. Air Force personnel walk around the site, working on the trucks and into the missile silo.
Our maintenance deputate maintains the alert readiness of our 150 missiles. The strength of our maintenance deputate lies with our dedicated, hard-working maintenance technicians. These people maintain our part of the strategic triad year-round, from the 100-plus degree days of August to January's 90-degree below wind chills.
Air Force personnel sitting around in a day room, playing pool and eating at a table.
If a maintenance team works all day and does not have time to return to base due to darkness or weather conditions, they stay in the nearest launch control facility, which is similar to a small hotel.
A bedroom with a wooden frame bed made and ready. Camera pans across the outside of the launch control facility. There are many antennas, but also a picnic table, basketball hoop, and other recreation equipment.
Correctly. He maintains the grounds, the water supply system, the environmental control system for the Launch Control Center, and the emergency diesel system.
Man in a green flight suit performing chemical tests with different glass tubes and other equipment.
The facility cook prepares food for all on-site personnel and keeps the kitchen sanitary and spotless.
Chef cuts vegetables on a cutting board on a counter next to a metal sink. Daylight shines through the white curtains on the windows above the sink.
The most important responsibility our crew members have is to respond to the direction of the National Command Authority should the Intercontinental Ballistic Missile Force be needed in a time of national emergency. Should this happen, the crew would be required to respond to either voice or hard copy messages. After a series of preparatory launch commands are complete, the crew members insert their launch keys and simultaneously initiate them along with all other crew members on alert.
The missile crew members take the padlocks off of a red box safe, insert keys into control panels, and begin to manipulate different controls and knobs.
With this simultaneous key turn, the crew members launch within a matter of moments, all are part of the Minuteman forces under their command.
Minuteman missiles launch from their silos in a burst of flames and smoke, streaking across the skies.
First stage burnout occurs 60 seconds into flight. At 76 nautical miles, the second stage burns. Finally, just 3 minutes into flight, third stage separation occurs. At this point, the warhead is disconnected and starts its free ballistic flight for the remainder of its 6,000-mile journey. Traveling at 15,000 miles per hour, the re-entry vehicle pitches into a vertical position, reaches its 600-mile apogee, and begins its descent. Only 5% of the journey is under powered flight. The first glow in the atmosphere is seen at an altitude of 23 miles as it approaches its programmed target. From launch to impact, the flight time is less than 30 minutes.
2 crew members walk around the underground launch control facility. One of them is describing to the other the functions of various equipment and the yellow board with lights on it.
The men and women of the 44th Strategic Missile Wing, along with 5 other Minuteman wings, sustain the rapid response of our Minuteman force and maintain a 98% alert rate for our missiles, the highest rate of the strategic triad of forces.
A mural with the word triad painted in yellow capital letters depicting a Minuteman missile, an airplane, and a submarine beneath them launching a missile.
Our people who maintain this high state of readiness enable us to perform our primary mission of keeping the peace through strategic nuclear deterrence. The men and women of the 44th Strategic Missile Wing are proud to be members of the Strategic Air Command.
Emblem of the Strategic Air Command in the shape of a shield with an armored fist holding red lightning bolts and an olive branch in front of a background of blue sky with clouds.
We know that our critical mission helps maintain the delicate peace that we enjoy today.
44th Strategic Missile Wing, DOTI, Ellsworth Air Force Base, South Dakota, 57706. Eruption of a Minuteman missile being launched.